Hiya, and welcome back to Password, the game that teaches us that we lost count of the amount of times that Roswell the Bacon has gotten killed. I lost count. I think it's been like 5 times now. I don't fucking know. Anyways, let's just hop right in. We set out right away, telling the guys we'd reconvene at lunch.
Pool! Yay!
Oh, I like that sprite. The sun was out and it was pleasantly warm. How often do you get to have a pool in your backyard, Dave? Never.
How could you not be excited, Dave? It's a pool!
Careful or you'll start to sound like Dean with the hot tub. Hey now, it's a hot tub. In fact, I'm going to the hot tub right now. Okay.
Well, I'm going to see if I remember how to swim.
You don't know if you remember.
Hey, it's been a while. I figure it's like riding a bike, right?
Well, maybe stick to the shallow end until you're certain you remember. Roswell eased into the pool and began to paddle in place, although I could see he still had his feet firmly on the bottom of the pool. Who should we check in on, Dean or Roswell? I think it depends on the path. Since we're only doing path A from now on, like forever. For now on until the end of time, only path A now. The bacon. I slipped into the pool and joined Roswell. Oh my god! Yay! 7 months! Yippee! Slipped into the water and joined Roswell, watching him splash around in the water. So, what happened to actually swimming?
Hey, I'm swimming!
Looks like you're just paddling around to me.
Well, if I'm being honest, you're right. I'm too distracted.
Is it because of the whole forest ordeal, or...?
Less that, more the reason why it happened in the first place.
Roswell floated a little further into the pool, talking as he did.
It's like Tyson said, nothing happened, but just the idea of someone wanting to do me in is just...
Yippee! If I remember, I'll add it.
I mean, it's just...
I mean, there's no reason anyone would want to do that, is there?
Can almost say for certain that there's absolutely no reason I should be on anyone's hit list. At least I can't think of any motive that someone might have against me.
I suppose that's true. Also, put some more stock in what Tyson said, though.
What's that?
Well, think about it. If someone killed you with no motive, that'd mean that someone here is a serial killer.
Okay.
Outside of Benson, you know everyone else well enough. Reckon any of them could have secretly been a killer this whole time without us knowing?
You're right. Chances are no one's a serial killer among us. Could you imagine, though? Scary. How are things with you, though?
Me? I'm fine, I guess.
Feeling less uneasy about being here, or was it just about Benson?
Honestly, haven't really interacted much with Benson since I spoke to you.
Ugh. I'd hoped that this was going to be a bunch of fun when I found out about this place. Seems to be one problem after the other so far.
It's not been that bad. Sure, the first couple of days were rough, but that's kind of what I expected given I wanted to bring Tyson. Which, yeah, my fault for not clearing it with everyone first, but he's still my friend.
Okay.
Roswell floated in place for a bit, sighing out. You sure you're recovering all right?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I bounced back from getting sick pretty fast.
No sooner had the words left his mouth that he was coughing up a storm. Whoa, the cough doesn't seem to have gotten any better.
Ugh, that still hurts too. Better than last night, though.
Maybe we should get you in the hot tub. It's not quite a bath, but maybe burning out the cough might work. Got out of the pool with Roswell in tow and headed over to the hot tub where Dean was already enjoying the bubbles. I eased myself into the tub with Roswell soon to follow. The three of us sat in relative silence enjoying the heat and the bubbles.
Oh, that's right. Did either of you have an interest in magic?
What, like wizards or like Vegas?
Well, more like Vegas, I think. Although if you're a wizard, Dean, you'd better share your magic secrets.
Well, I do know a few tricks, but I don't think that constitute magic given the wand I use.
Wait, you have a wand?
said bacon never change. Moving on. Did you pick up a few more tricks since the last time, Roswell?
Well, kinda. Although more importantly, I wanted to know if either of you would be interested in being my assistant.
Assistant? I don't think I'm svelte enough to pull off those skimpy costumes. That's all on Dave. Hey now. We don't know if we need to wear a costume. We don't have to wear a costume, do we?
No, I was just wondering because it turns out all the neat traditional tricks are better done with an assistant and wanted to give them a try.
What, like sawing someone in half?
Exactly.
Well, count me out then. I don't want to get sawn in half.
Well, you're Killjoy.
Sawn in half. Damn it. The three of us talked until it was time for lunch, each of us heading back inside to get changed before heading down to the dining room.
Dave!
What's up, Roswell?
Oh, nothing really.
Uh-huh, sure. Why don't I believe that for a second?
Well, seeing as though Dean didn't want to be my assistant, I guess that falls to you.
Oh.
Come on, it's not that bad, I promise.
Are we going to be his assistant? Are we going to get murdered? Okay, do we want to get murdered? Because I feel like we'll get murdered if we agree to be his assistant. I feel like we'll die. Yeah, we're about to get sawn in half. It's such a pain in the ass. Such a pain in the ass to fucking get killed. It's a fucking pain. Yeah, we die. Okay. Okay, fine, lead the way.
All right, this way.
Roswell led the way out of the kitchen through the foyer and up to his room. First thing I noticed upon entering Roswell's room is that it was a lot messier than I remembered it being. Whoa, your room wasn't like this when I checked up on you last night, was it?
Well, I may have been a bit reckless in looking for something I packed. Found it eventually, though.
Looking about the room, hopefully you didn't need to find anything else with how messy it was. You don't need to find anything else, right? You'd have an easier time hiding something in here than finding it. Why did you bring so many clothes anyway? I picked up a shirt and tossed it at him, watching it fall to the floor after colliding with his face.
Hey, I'll clean up later. They're only clothes.
But why so many?
I wanted to be sure I had enough for the whole month.
Surely they have a laundry here. It's a house, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess that's true.
They do have one, right?
Oh, yeah, I found it down in the basement. It's tucked away for some reason, but it's got huge machines. Probably wash all of our clothes together in the one machine.
Somehow I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Imagine getting your laundry back smelling like Tyson.
Or anyone, really. We all smell sort of different, right?
Mm-hmm. That natural musk or whatever. Granted, you can always just use scented fabric softener to neutralize it somewhat.
Okay, as much as I like talking about laundry, you wanted to show me a trick?
Oh, right. Let me go get my deck of cards.
We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Our throat is going to get slit open with a fucking... Knowing our luck, it's going to be a 7 of hearts that we get our throat sliced open with. We're gonna fucking die. Make peace with your god now, cause we're gonna die. Roswell wandered over to his suitcase and began to rummage some more, pushing aside some clothes. How do you have even more clothes in there? Still, as he began to search, it almost seemed like he was intentionally making a show of wiggling his butt in my direction.
I could have sworn they were in here. Oh, here they are. Okay, this should be an easy one to start. Let me just make sure I've got all the cards.
Are we just going to ignore the fact that his ass was... that he was shaking his ass in our face? Are we just going to ignore that? I think we're going to ignore that, okay.
And let me just make sure I've got all the cards here.
We both sat down while Roswell fished the cards out of the package. He fanned out the cards and scanned them over, brow furrowed for a moment before fanning the cards face down in front of me.
Go on, pick a card. Don't show me, though.
I took a card and looked at it. What suit was the card? Oh, God. What was the suit of the card? If only there was an option. They're fucking right. Should I say should we go with the card that I said would slice our throats open? Got one for hearts and one for spades. Alright. Spades. What type of card was it? Just go with an ace. The card in my hand was the ace of spades.
Okay, now I'll put it back into the deck anywhere, and I'll guess your card.
You're going to shuffle the deck, right?
Oh, well, of course.
So you'd have no problems if I shuffled it back in?
I guess not.
Begrudgingly, Roswell passed over the rest of the deck and I shuffled my card back in. Okay, let's see, you guess now. It's not the top card, is it?
Maybe? Just give me a sec.
Roswell picked up the deck and started looking at the cards brow furrowed.
Okay, I think I know. It's this one.
Roswell thrust a card face down before flipping it over. That's, card Roswell has flipped was a rules card. The fucking rules card. You didn't take them out beforehand?
Okay, let me try again.
Roswell looked through the deck again, stopping with a grin.
Alright, I've got it, 100%.
Oh, yeah?
Your card was the 5 of clubs.
Hiya. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, friend. I stared at Roswell, slightly concerned. Do we tell the truth or do we lie to him? Oh. As much as Okay, let's lie to the bacon. Well, damn, I didn't think you'd actually guess it right.
Really? That's a relief.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. To be honest, I wasn't expecting you to shuffle them so well. But I'm also flattered you went along with it even if I got it wrong. You were never all that good at bluffing, you know.
At the end of the day, you had a 1 in, 53 chance of guessing correctly?
55 if we include the rules card. I'd like to keep the jokers in there. But even then, there's always a way to collapse that down to an almost certainty if you know how.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Roswell shuffled the deck again, but with a level of finesse I hadn't seen him display before, setting it down between us on the floor. Another trick?
Of sorts. What card did you have again?
It was the ace of spades.
Okay, so we know that there's a total of 54 cards in this deck. So the chances of your card being on the top is 1 in 54, right?
Right.
Wrong.
No, it's 1 in 54. You even shuffled before I told you what it is. Couldn't have done any card manipulation to put the right one to the top when you shuffled.
You're right. I didn't need to do any tricks to put your card to the top. Quantum mechanics has already done that for me.
Come again?
To put it another way, fate or destiny has made it so your card is on the top of the deck now. I'm sure you've heard of Schrodinger's cat, right?
Whether it's where it's alive or dead or something, sure.
So it's kind of like that, except instead of just alive or dead, you have every possible card in the deck as in the outcome. I'm declaring here now that the top card of the deck is the ace of spades. Flip it over and you'll see I'm right.
There wasn't any possible way that he'd been able to just decide that my card was on top. But sure enough, I flipped it over and there it was. The ace of spades.
To be fair, there was only about a 2% chance that I got that. Well, more like 1.85% give or take.
Sure, but how did you make that happen?
Well, that's probably the true magic, isn't it?
I mean, if you opened with that trick, I probably would have been amazed from the get-go.
I suppose that's true.
I remember back in the day you were all about the tricks, except it was more with the top hat and wand. You've, gotten better if you can just decide what the top card of your deck of cards is going to be.
Well, I could tell you how I do it, but that'd ruin the magic, right?
Sure, but I'm still wondering how you did it.
Maybe I did nothing.
We both laughed it off, once again with Roswell's cough causing him to double over in pain. Whoa, so much for you getting better, huh? Also, that reminds me of the time you got the flu and you weren't at school for a couple weeks.
Ugh, don't remind me. It's a different kind of pain than back then. Still pretty bad, though. I'll be fine.
Oh god, I don't know. You sure?
Really, I just need to somehow get my card trick working on a bottle of mystery pills or something. Or maybe I can use the trick to open the vault like you did.
Well, hey, if you did that, we wouldn't need the medals anymore, would we?
Guess not.
For the rest of the afternoon, Roswell and I just talked and played Go Fish. At some point, we went downstairs and grabbed some more leftover pizza, then headed outside for some fresh air.
You know, Dave, it's nice having you around again.
Huh?
Like, how do I put it? I missed this, just us, hanging out. It's been a while since we've done it properly, you know.
Think the last time was, what, when we were kids?
Right.
Hiya.
I feel as though, despite having to move away, nothing changed between us after years, right?
Well, we're friends, right?
Yeah. To be honest, even since being here, it's been, well, I guess looking at things as someone who's older now, it's a bit different.
Different how?
Well, maybe I wouldn't mind being more than just friends.
Aw, you've still got the spot of best friend. Don't worry, Roswell. We just fucking friend zoned him. Oh. I mean,
It's okay if you don't feel the same. Really, it's okay. I'm happy, I really am.
so we just no, we didn't get friend zoned. We fucking friend zoned Roswell. Feels odd being on the other end of the other side of the conversation, even though I was on that side. Damn. Roswell had always had a special place in my heart, if only because he was the friend I'd had the longest. I hadn't really given much thought about it, but if there was anyone I was comfortable around, unconditionally, it was Roswell. The more my mind lingered on it... Ah! Yeah, that's a... Okay, so everyone's saying to kiss him. And you know what? I also want to do that. Just give him a little kiss. Ah! I grabbed Roswell quickly by his bandana and kissed him. I heard him gasp and he didn't move. In fact, he just started shaking. Next moment later, though, I had his arms around my neck, holding me close, trying to kiss me back. Kissing is hard, apparently. Never really had the chance to kiss anyone like this before, and neither had Roswell from how we were just winging it. When we broke away, I made sure to grab his hand and hold on to it, opening my eyes to look at him again.
Wow. I guess you feel the same way, huh?
I do, but it's hard to figure out where the affection beyond just friendship starts, yeah?
Yeah, but we have time to figure it out, right?
Right.
Hooray!
We settled back, my arm over Roswell's shoulders, the both of us looking over the backyard.
It's gotten a bit cold out, huh?
Yeah,
I'm going to head inside, maybe get an early night, good night, Dave.
For whatever reason, Roswell hurried inside, tripping over the threshold of the doorway. He was right, though. The night air had started to settle in, bringing about a chill, followed soon by the faint rumble of thunder in the distance. In the strangest way, I could still taste Roswell on my lips, the whole experience seeming so surreal. That silly boar. Now we're just going to skip all that. Sat bolt upright, remembering the note. The note! What? What note? The response sounded genuine, and I checked I still had it laying around. You didn't leave the note in my room? I tend to not leave my room, nor send Benson on minor tasks like that. Fucking Oz. They're gonna stick around, my guy. Can't get rid of us. With the conversation over for now, I got myself ready and headed downstairs for breakfast. Not to mention that the impression I got was that he'd do everything he could to avoid killing someone, even if I was in danger. He'd even said so himself earlier. He called himself small and weak. Thinking back, it checked out. He was always the one to follow someone else stronger, or take comfort in the security a group of people brings. He smiled at me sweetly from the other side of the table, my cheeks going red under my fur, thinking back to last night. I looked down at my coffee, smiling to myself. I don't think I was all that much stronger than he was, but I felt stronger with him around. Just looking at Orlando, I could tell that if he was the killer, we had a much bigger problem on our hands than we realized. La 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 la.
I'll be right back.
Orlando hurried away into the kitchen, leaving just us, Roswell, and I standing... Leaving just Haas, Roswell, and I standing next to the giant gourd. So, pumpkin carving.
Just like Halloween.
While I was looking at the pumpkin, Roswell got closer, nestling up against my side. Lasted for maybe a few seconds before he shuffled away slightly so there was space between us. Oh? Did something happen between you two? I don't think I've ever seen you act so coy, Roswell.
Who, me?
Yes, you. I caught that blush on your cheeks, fawning over him like he's a husband, or you're too shy to approach. Why did I... I need to figure out how the hell I'm going to have Haas say husbando. You know, fuck it. I think I figured it out. I got that blush on your cheeks, fawning over him like he's a husbando you're too shy to approach.
Oh, well, you see...
Russell started to giggle, unsure of where to start explaining. I felt bad, but figured I should probably step in before it gets out of hand. Reaching out, I took Roswell's hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. It's more something we need to figure out. I don't know what it is yet, but we're going to figure it out, I think. Right, Roswell?
Right.
He pulled his hand away from mine, posturing proudly.
We have the time and the enthusiasm to boot.
Oh's that so? Ah, the joys of young love, I guess, vary on genre. Here's some advice. Don't go flipping out on one another for anything that may come up as a problem. Just talk it out. Don't run away from the problem.
Wait, really?
Yeah, why?
It's just something about how you said that seems off.
Off how? Seemed like good advice to me.
Off like he was lying?
Now, wait a minute.
Almost like I remember another time Haas sliding. He sounded the same back then. I think it was...
I have knives. God damn it. Damn it, Orlando. Damn it, Orlando. I have knives.
Oh, did something happen?
I looked between Haas and Roswell, neither of them wanting to look at one another. I know nothing bad happened, I think? But this feels like really heavy silence. Weren't you guys happy when I left? Oh yeah, we were, I looked between Roswell and Haas again, talking about relationships. Have you got any advice on that, Orlando? I laughed, nervous, trying to hold Orlando's attention. Well, I'm not an expert, but I imagine that communication is the big one, right? Talk about things, don't keep secrets, that sort of thing. Say I'm not the only one who thinks so.
I guess not. Sorry, Haas.
Oh, good, buddy. Now let's get to carving.
Say, Haas, have you ever carved a pumpkin for Halloween?
Well, it's been a couple of years, but yeah, used to do it with my little brother and sister. Did you used to go dressed up for trick-or-treating? They were a little too young when I was doing it. Last couple of times I just wandered around with them to save the parents the trouble. Besides, I just love those little guys.
What do they dress up as?
A witch and a boy witch.
A boy witch? So, a wizard?
Nope, a boy witch. Apparently, there's a rule about wizards not being allowed to have a pet rat and fly on brooms.
But that's...
You learn to just let these things go, Roswell. It's easier when they're your siblings, that's for sure.
But...
Roswell? Let it go. I don't think you're going to win against children on this front, but... Is it always the same costumes? Nah, that was just the last one before I moved out this way. Year before that it was... Let me think... Boy witch sounds like a sandwich, it does. Wait, what? Ah, yes, the infamous robot and girl robot. This entire situation. Like, okay. You got Haas, you said something funny, Roswell who got offended, and Orlando just no thoughts, smooth brain. All ideas just slide off of his brain. Like a water slide. Roswell was fuming, confused, and holding back from commenting despite it being plain he was taking issue with these costumes. What about you, Haas? What did you dress as? Oh, jeez, that's going back a fair way. Typically just went as Robin Hood. Didn't get heavy into costuming until I was too old to go trick-or-treating.
Last time I went trick-or-treating, I think I went as a doctor with how big that coat. I may as well have been a ghost. I may have well been a ghost.
Did you ever go trick-or-treating, Dave? Oh, yeah, I used to... Who's ready to carve a pumpkin? Orlando held up carefully a bunch of knives that he'd retrieved from the kitchen. I sharpened them too, so we should have no issue here. Alrighty, let's get to work. Okay, but why are we sacrificing him? Yeah, why are we sacrificing him? That's a good question.
A medal? Really?
Yeah, I found it in the greenhouse. Wait, hold on, you just found one. In the greenhouse. Under the pumpkin, actually. Pulled out the medal properly and showed it to both Roswell and Orlando. Well, drat.
Oh, this is Taurus, right? At least it looks like it. Look out, Orlando. We are tied now.
Oh, geez, here I was hoping I'd be able to enjoy being in the lead a little longer. At the rate you're finding these things, no one's going to win, so hurry it up, yeah? Fuck you, Tyson.
Well, if it's time to clean up, I think I'm going to go take a shower. It'll be easier and more pleasant than standing around all day like this.
Probably not a bad idea. I should go do that too. I'm going to go sort out this pumpkin before I get clean. Saves me having to do it twice. Think I'll go have a shower myself then, unless you need some more help, Orlando. Oh, that'd be awesome, huh? Thanks. Those that weren't helping Orlando finish portioning up the pumpkin went to go get clean, myself included. Making sure I had my scrubbing brush, I got to work trying to get the orange out of my fur. I must have scrubbed myself all over twice before enough of the smell was gone and the stains were no longer noticeable. Oh boy, that feels a bit better. Hi. Hi. Why are you in here? Do you need something? Thought I locked that door. How'd you get in? Okay. As I stepped out of the shower, still clad in only a towel around my waist, I almost ran into Roswell pacing about my room. Roswell! Without a word, Roswell came in and hugged me around my middle and sighing out contentedly.
This is nice.
Yeah, but did you have to hug me now?
I'm sorry, I was just feeling a little lonely.
Oh, my cheeks go red looking down at Roswell. Was this where we normally kiss? I wasn't sure if I should just go for it, but Roswell pulled away before I had a chance to act.
Don't think I'm quite at the stage where I want to see you naked, Dave, but I like the closeness that hugging you brings.
As in, without my shirt.
Is that bad? Isn't that what boyfriends are meant to do?
Oh, well...
Don't get me wrong. I know we're not, at least not yet. Unless...
I laughed, nervous, making sure I kept one hand on the towel for modesty. Oh, I don't know?
I'm only messing with you, Dave. We're a long ways off anything like that. All I know is that I like being near you, that's all.
I smiled at Roswell, watching as he wandered towards the door to my room. Well, that's fine, but maybe wait until I'm dressed next time?
Oh, I'm sorry, I just thought...
I mean, at least let me be in underwear next time.
Alright, well, I'll let you get dressed and meet you downstairs.
He bitted my peepness. Youch. Roswell gave one last wave before leaving my room, closing the door behind him. Well, he looked like a train wreck. I glared at Tyson for being insensitive, with him shooting me a confused look as he seemed to... As soon as he noticed, he was. Could you maybe a little bit attacked? What? Last time Hyena Boy over here cried like that, all he needed was someone to hear him out. Eyes shifted to me now, as if waiting for me to confirm. I nodded, recounting what had set me off in my mind. My ears drooped and shoulders fell back, thinking just over a year ago. Sure, but matters of the heart, be more sensitive, Tyson. Orlando's not a brute like you. All I'm saying is that if he's torn up about it... If he's that torn up about it, someone should go talk to him. There were a few moments of silence before Sal stood with a start, rushing into the foyer in the direction Orlando went. Guess Sal's going to do it. Not sure if that's the most appropriate. Honestly, probably is. The issue is the relationship they have, right? I think it's best they talk things out for context rather than one of us doing it for sure. I looked to Roswell, who was disappearing into the kitchen, having stayed silent during the exchange. Roswell? He was standing near the coffee machine, brewing a new pot of coffee, possibly to share.
Yes?
His tone surprised me, clearly upset about something with how sharp his reply came. Is everything alright? Roswell turned to me, stare focused and angry, but it all fell away with a sigh as he rubbed the bridge of his nose, turning back to the coffee pot.
Just Tyson the usual. How could he be so blunt about that? Orlando was hurting something bad. He put his heart out there and just... You saw him, right?
I did, yeah.
How could you be that dense as to how other people feel, Dave? Only goes to prove my theory that Tyson has, and never will, love someone in the same way that we're capable of.
That's not fair, Roswell. You don't know him.
Oh, and I suppose you do, Dave? You keep making excuses for him, keep defending him, but what's he done to deserve that? If he's done something, then please tell me. For as all I can tell, he's just leeching off your good nature.
I didn't have a reply to that. At least not one that was an actual focused sentence rather than annoyed syllables thrown at Roswell for coming out with that. Thankfully, the coffee pot was ready at the stage, and Roswell picked it up, walking around me and back into the dining room. Seemingly, he had said all he needed to on the matter. I followed right on behind. With Sal and Orlando upstairs, presumably talking things over, that left Haas, myself, Dean, Roswell, and Tyson awkwardly sitting around in the aftermath.
No kidding, you're lucky he didn't shut you down in public.
He could have, and it would have been my fault. Only one that has to wear that is me. I'm gonna ask Dean. The bacon. Tyson. Nah, Tyson isn't next. Tyson's last. Ah, shit. Do we stay or follow Tyson? Should we stick around? Or follow him? Ah! I'm gonna do something real quick while you all decide that. And I'm back. Alrighty, guess we're following Tyson. Yeah, I think I'll go check on him. I'll be back in a bit, guys. I bailed before anyone could convince me otherwise. The light was on in the gym, so I knew he was there. As I got closer, I could hear the sounds of him exerting himself, accompanied by thuds soon after. It seemed like he was muttering under his breath as he beat the daylights out of the punching bag, throwing his weight behind every swing. Ty? Out of breath, Ty turned to me with a snarl, expression softening upon seeing me standing there. Gave me a once-over, looking back at the punching bag before wandering over to me. Hey, pup. Are you okay? I know what happened upstairs, but, okay, yeah, I thought so. I just don't get it. I'm trying. Wasn't going to happen overnight, but sure. I don't know. I'll ask him about it. I don't know when. I don't know. Wasn't going to happen overnight, but sure. Didn't think feeling this unwelcome would get to me so much. I want to say something before realizing that he had a point. Still. Beats the alternative. What's the alternative? Being dead for starters. But nah, I would have probably killed my dad if I had to spend another month in that house. Would have looked sus as fuck given I was planning on hitting the roads after the month was up too. Oh, a road trip? Something like that. But why though? Oh, do I get to come? Not this time, pup. I crossed my arms, pouting at him. There had been a few times Ty and I had just gone away for the weekend. typically because he heard of a neat place and forcibly dragged me along for the ride. Not that I never had a good time, he made sure that I was smiling most of the way. Got shit to sort out. Up here, you know? He tapped his head, avoiding my gaze. Oh, I'm at my parents' house. Been here. A lot of personal shit. Just take it as that, personal shit. He tapped his head, avoiding my gaze. Oh, did you want to talk about it? Nah, just have to think it out, I guess. Change of scenery might help. Maybe when I get back we can go somewhere nice. What, like a date? I stuck my tongue out at him, poking him carefully in the chest. Would you like that, to go on a date? I went wide-eyed at his response, cheeks going red. There was no immediate response I had prepared, but I never would have been ready for Tyson to ask that so bluntly. You're such a dork. Am not! Anyway, you doing okay? Me? What about you? I'm fine. Roswell being an asshole is new, but at least he's grown a pair. Not all bad, though. Been talking more to Sal. Oh, since this morning? Yeah, ask me a few things. Guy's a scary read on people when they aren't focusing on him. Pegged our relationship pretty quick. Dean seemed jealous. Probably wouldn't mind talking to the bear more either. Can't be all that bad if you picked him. Hey, I haven't picked him yet. I don't know. Wait, no. Back up. What do you mean Sal pegged our relationship? Figured that you're like my little brother with how flustered you get around me sometimes. That was his guess, but he said he wasn't certain. I guess that's not entirely wrong. Uh-huh. Either way, it's a start. Talking with the others, at least. Don't think I'm going to be getting on well with Roswell anytime soon, though. That makes sense. It's a start, but a good one. I'm proud of you, Ty. Yeah. Still. Means the world to me you came to check on me. Ty wandered in and threw an arm around my shoulder, scooping me close just so he could grind a knuckle into my head.
Hey, Ty, quit it!
Not until you admit that I'm your favorite person here. After a few more seconds, he let me go, chuckling as I patted my fur back into place. Alright, you can wander on now, pup. I have some thinking to do. Bad thinking? Nah, only good stuff, promise. You'll be around if I need you, yeah? For sure. Alright, see you at dinner. With the last wave to Ty, I wandered back into the basement. Something was drawing me to the room, to the door beyond and the keypad next to it. Oh, fuck. We got a password. Fuck. Do we want to... I think we're just going to get through this as quickly as possible. Because we don't want to spend too much time here. Let me scroll up right there. Alrighty. I did. Yep.
Again?
What do you mean, again? So you opened it before? Anything good inside? Can we maybe not skip past that he somehow opened it in the first place? Well, it wasn't so much opened as I messed with it and saw, well...
The first time it was me, dead, in the museum.
Really? Yeah. Well, that's fucked. This time, it was Benson. I believe him because I got the thing to work too.
If I hadn't already, I'd probably be a little more skeptical myself. What did you want to do about it, Dave?
Dean and Tyson looked at each other before collectively looking at me. I knew Tyson had found a bullet, and Dean said that whenever had been buried, it was dug up recently. But that didn't tell us where the gun was now. So a gun... bacon... Roswell was cuddling a pillow, a dopey grin on his face as he slept. I wondered if he was dreaming of something happy, and admittedly, I was a little jealous. Laying down, I mirrored him, cuddling into my own pillow and watching him sleep as I got comfortable. Opposite me was Roswell, still sleeping peacefully. He seemed just as happy as I remembered, but my smile faded upon realizing everything else still on my mind. I rolled onto my back, letting my hand rest on my chest as I stared at the ceiling. Would Roswell be a good person to ask for advice on this? Hiya. How he seemed to turn to Tyson yesterday seemed out of character, too. Did something happen? I still look at his happy face again before going back to the ceiling. Mustn't be eating him if he was having that good a sleep. Roswell had changed over the time I'd known him. And I was only really starting to realize it the longer we were living in such close proximity. He used to be more of a pushover, timid, but now? I hadn't realized it properly, but he'd become a lot more sure of himself, a lot more confident. Something that I wasn't sure that I was matching him in. I looked to him again, just in time to see him start to wake. It seemed to still be out of it as I checked. Orlando was sprawled out on his back, fingers twitching every now and again. Haas, meanwhile, was curled up on his side, looking placid enough that the only sign of him still being alive was the steady rise and fall of his chest. Yeah, we're only doing Path A. Roswell yawned, drawing my attention as he slowly opened his eyes and looked at me.
Good morning, Dave.
Morning, Roswell. Did you sleep all right?
I did. I had a pretty good dream. Don't think I've had one of those for a while.
Oh, yeah? What was it about?
Oh, well, this is probably going to sound silly, but cake.
Cake?
Decadent chocolate cake, whipped cream, cherries, the works.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I don't think we'd be able to get away with it for breakfast, even if we asked nicely, though. As I headed back to mine, I noticed Roswell mumbling to himself, dipping into his room and shutting the door behind himself quickly. Something about that seemed odd enough that I doubled back to his door and knocked lightly. Roswell? Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay, Dave.
Roswell picked up one of his shirts and threw it on, sighing out.
I have a lot on my mind, okay? I'm tired, stressed, and a whole lot of other things.
Tired? But didn't you have that nice dream about cake?
It's a different kind of tiredness.
Oh, well, is there something I can help you with? I don't like seeing you upset, and you've been acting all weird lately. Roswell looked away from me, not wanting to make eye contact, and he went quiet. Did I do something?
Oh, God, no, not at all. Well, it's complicated, seeing I'm still trying to sort out.
Is this what caused yesterday?
Don't! It's still too early for that talk.
I did a double take. It was unlike Roswell to be so fired up about anything, even this early. But am I right?
Partially.
Well, hey now, that's not fair, Roswell. The other day I was gesturing loosely with my hands between us, hoping that my explanation was coming across clear enough without having to explicitly say it.
Well, maybe. It's like I've had any experience with this sort of thing.
You think I do?
Well...
Roswell, is everything alright? Like, really? Is this something I can help with, or is this another one of those things that you just need to work through by yourself?
I don't quite know yet. Can I get back to you on it? I think for now I just need some time alone before breakfast to think.
Oh, okay. I ordered to back out of the room before turning to the door, hand placed on the handle. You said I was like an older brother, right?
I did, yes. Why?
You see me as someone able to help too, or... You've always been the smarter of the two of us, but...
Like I said, it's complicated, sorry.
Well, I guess we'll talk later then?
Sure, I'll see you downstairs, Dave.
I left Roswell to his thinking and headed back to mine. It stung a little to think that he looked up to me, but at the same time didn't see me as reliable enough to help. I could totally help! Even though I was just listening to his problems. But if it was something more than that, well, I had my job to do today. Maybe finding out some information about the vault from Oz would be a good start. Roswell was smart, but he didn't know everything. But even then, maybe if I just asked Oz what the code to the door was so Roswell and I could open it together, it might put him in a better mood. Once I was changed, I double-checked I had everything I needed and headed downstairs for breakfast. Going to help out. We're speed running. Doing another speed run. We're going to support Benson. Not going to reveal Oswin yet. I had been in here with Roswell. I remembered something in one of the books about a floor plan, if only in passing. It seemed that there was any chance of me finding the library this way. The museum held the answer.
After all, we're partners, right? Because if that's what we're doing next, I'm more than happy to start going through the rooms with you. You're not going to let this go, are you? It's probably silly and not much of an excuse, but...
But what?
After the other day, I've been thinking more about dying recently. Not suicide, but more conscious about what little time we have left.
We're still young, Roswell.
Yes, I know, but... What if tragedy strikes? What if something happens to either of us? Death can come at any time, and just what happens if it's tomorrow? What if it's in 5 minutes? Shouldn't that be enough of a drive to get you to confront the things you've wanted to say the things you've always needed to?
But to take it out on Tyson... For things that happened all that time ago, how's that fair?
I have a vested interest now.
In what, me?
You dummy! I've been maybe crushing on you for a while now. At least I think that's what it is.
How bad of a crush are we talking?
Just enough that you make it really hard to think about what I should be doing, what I should be saying. I've prided myself in being able to see things so logically, but...
That doesn't give you an excuse to treat him like dirt.
What, so I have to forgive him?
To some extent, yeah.
But why?
Because like it or not, he's important to me, Roswell. He's family.
Family?
Yeah, family. I'm not picking sides, but the moment you make me choose between the two of you, then I'm sorry, but...
Am I not important?
You're important too, but I'm not going to put up with you putting me on the spot having to choose between my friends. What sort of friend would I be to have to abandon either one of you? And what sort of friend would you be to make me have to choose?
Sorry, Dave.
Not to me, to Tyson. We pissed off the bacon. Orlando and Haas. I can vouch for him at least. That must mean something.
Dave, I don't know.
Sure, I've been.
You what?
But I'm not scared of him, and he might just need a friend. Aside from Dave, at least. Ask Haas. Gonna ask the lion. Yeah. He is. Fucking cursed. Thought about what to do for the rest of the afternoon. I was tired but not tired enough to go take a nap, so maybe I just needed some sun. Wandering outside, I figured I'd splash around in the water for a little bit. Not a full swim, but just enough to keep me going until dinner. I entered the pool and looked around, seeing Sal and Tyson talking to one another about something. Okay, fine, I get it. Are you sure you do? I can run through it again if you need it. I said I get it, you can lay off it already. Okay, I heard you. Still. Should I leave you two alone, or... Shit, pup! How long have you been there? Not long, but you were talking about something? Nothing important. Yeah, just having a chat. Looked between the two of them with a frown. Just a chat, huh? Yeah, a chat. It really wasn't anything important. The conversation was over. I'm gonna bail and do some weights. Wanna come with, pup? No, I'm good, I think. Oh, well, alright, I guess. Catch you at dinner. I looked at Sal, who seemed to be watching Tyson leave with a slight frown. Hi, I don't know. When Ty was out of sight, he looked back to me carefully. So, yes? You and Tyson. What about me and Ty? Sal scratched his cheek briefly before shaking his head. Don't worry about it, I'm imagining things. Imagining what? If I didn't know any better, you two were close. Very close. Well, we are, but... really close. He's just Ty, right? If you say so. With a shrug, Sal slipped back into the water and began to swim around, leaving me to my devices. Came out for some sun and figured that I may as well sit back on one of the pool chairs and maybe have a nap. I closed my eyes and let my mind wander. Tonight was going to make everything make sense again. I just had to talk to Oz. It was almost becoming like a mantra, a grounding statement to keep me on task. That said, with how tired I was in the warmth of the sun above, I was quickly succumbing to sleep. I've been tired a lot lately, more tired than maybe I should be, even with coffee. Was I not drinking enough? Was I drinking too much? Next thing I know, Sal's gently shaking me to bring me inside for dinner. He'd apparently already showered and changed back into his clothes and was walked inside together. Oh, Dean's going to get rejected. Roswell was in the museum. Attacked from behind next to a book. Anything else distinguishable about the scene? Not that I can think of aside from the book he was next to, just a big one left open. Anything of note with it? Looked like the word discovery was underlined in blood. By chance did that happen to be the password? Yeah. I stared at him, dumbfounded. But that's impossible! How else would the words get in there? We're gonna question him. We're gonna ask him questions. Let's ask the larger Oswin. Question: yes, skip button enabled. Well, I'm gonna ask a question of my own, even though we already know the answer. Are you and Roswell related? I was wondering if you're going to ask about that. I mean, you're both boars, so Then as broad strokes says to save time, there's no relation between myself and the Sinclair child, or their family as a whole, really. But, relation, mind you, the more well-off families are at least to some extent aware of one another. As it turns out, Roswell's father assisted me during the predicament with the trial thing. In more ways than one, he was my defense attorney. Granted, there were other contributing factors that let me walk away from that, such as... For a brief moment, it looked like Oswin was going to explain, or at the very least, follow up my question with something before he just shook his head. Guess I wasn't getting that one answered. We got more questions for you. Can I stick my fingers in your nose? I think it'd be best asking something else, Dave. But what if I... He gestured at me to stop before turning his hands as they were. Remember, we're on a timer, if a loose one. Focus on what's important. Okay, fine. Try typing Benson. What about Benson? He's just very...
A body has been discovered!
Benson-y? Benson-y? Really? Hey, I don't know. Haven't interacted with many butlers before. Is he what normal butlers are like? As far as I can tell, yes. Okay. The old shack. There's no shack on the manor grounds as far as I can recall. Closest thing would be the greenhouse unless what? Nothing, don't worry about it. The only other thing that resembles that would be far enough from here it shouldn't be a concern. Okay, did you hear me? I heard you. I just have nothing to say to that. Oh, okay, why us? There was nothing but silence after I'd finished talking. Bore opposite me, watching me with a stony gaze. I chuckled nervously, realizing after a while that he wasn't going to respond. You know what? I gotta ask. Can I... I think it'd be best to... Son of a bitch! Okay. Are you gay for Benson? What about... God damn it. Okay. The ring on your right tusk. Seem to be struggling. Okay, you know what? Fine. Memphis. You know what? Let's ask about Haas. Damn it. Benson is creepy. You think Benson's creepy? Pfft, hiya. He is a little bit, don't you think? If I thought him creepy, trust that I would have replaced him a long while back. So why is he creepy then? He seems to just appear out of nowhere sometimes, and he was even missing the past couple days. That's easy enough to explain. Benson's very much a fan of staying out of the spotlight so he can get his job done with little interruptions. Consider it something he picked up from his old job before he became my butler. Tyson's ass. Damn it. Tyson's ass isn't a question. Is there in the woods? Who can really say who's out in the woods at any given time? There really could be anyone out there at any given time. If you're that curious, the only way to know would be to go out there yourself. But I should say I would recommend against it. Doing so without a guide would be dangerous. Oswin is not based. Skill issue. Oh no! Okay, are we done talking to Oswin? Do you play Genshin? Okay. Do you play Genshin? Dave. Yes? There was a sigh accompanying his immediate reply, his expression shifting towards one of boredom. Please try and keep to things that are relevant. Or at the very least, I think about what might be relevant here. Oh, right. Gotcha. No, because you get mad at us. He's offended we even considered that. No! I think we're done. I think we're done. We got all the information we need. The steps were uncertain, unmeasured, and...
Whoa, no, don't!
I opened my eyes just enough to see Roswell halfway to my bed, desperately clutching a mug of coffee that was threatening to spill over from how full it was. With a sigh, Roswell got himself back under control and edged closer to the bed. In fear of him spilling the whole cup, I chose not to move until he sat it down on the bedside. Morning!
Good morning.
He sounded chipper, at least in good spirits. If only I could steal some of that.
How did you...
I flashed him a weak smile, but he saw through me.
What's wrong? What happened?
I had a rough night.
Did anyone do anything? Rough nights aren't usually caused by something after all. Because of me, I'm sorry. Really?
The list? Yeah, the password list. Yeah, I saw it. No, it's not you, Roswell, promise.
Then what?
I looked away, ballooning my cheeks with air and wondering how much I should tell him. When I looked back at him, he seemed genuinely worried.
You don't want to talk about it, I understand. These last few days have been rough. Best I can do is promise that I'll help where I can? So long as you let me know, I guess.
I nodded slowly, looking him over. Well, the moment I started speaking, his eyes shot up to me expectantly. I guess a lot of it is the vault stuff, but my head is all over the place.
Did you want to talk about it?
Roswell sat down next to me, assuming the answer was yes regardless. It was wrong. I did want to talk about it a little. Maybe for a little bit. I messed with my hands, shooting him a look. So I guess it's about family? Watching Roswell's expression shift told me he was listening confused. Combined with what you said yesterday about death and all that, you know.
Oh, you mean...
I nodded meekly and Roswell shuffled closer again. So that combined with finding out you saw me as an older brother, plus sorting out you and Tyson, it's just... I'm exhausted. Roswell reached over and took one of my hands, squeezing gently.
Well, is there anything I can do then? Friends look out for one another, right? And if I have any hope in more than that... That is to say, if we...
I couldn't help but chuckle a little bit at how flustered he was getting. It's hard to tell if he was completely genuine about it or not, but it was enough to make me feel better, if only a little.
Now that's better. But still, I'm sorry. You've gotten like this before. You get sad, distant, and normally you just sit in the corner on your phone.
He wasn't wrong. Thinking back to the other times about Dad had put me in a slump. I managed to make my way to Anime Club all the same, but despite their best efforts, they just didn't know how to make me feel better. Not that they didn't try or ask, I didn't know how to make myself better either half the time. Roswell sighed out.
I owe you an apology.
I blinked, confused as to what he was apologizing for. He continued when I didn't immediately reply. His voice was held low, quiet as if he was ashamed of what he was saying, but his pace implied he'd rehearsed.
I understand that a whole bunch of things have changed in the time I was gone. You and Tyson, for instance, I get on well enough with Orlando, and Haas is fine too, I guess.
With a sigh, he scratched his head.
The assumption was that I guess I should just move back and pick up like nothing was different, which the more I think on it just seems childish.
I shook my head. I mean, we kept in contact, right? Sure, it was letters and email, but you never really left. Roswell sighed out, looking me over. Wanna wait for a bit? I could never have ads on YouTube. Well, for, like, very little. The real world is going to be difficult, isn't it? I read that in the wrong voice!
The real world is going to be difficult, isn't it? I wouldn't give to just stay in school.
Why school, though?
I was good at school, homework, academics, plus being at the top of the class was nice with the attention and praise.
And the bullying?
Okay, that not so much. I'd rather avoid that if I got a do-over. But as much as I'd want to avoid it, I think I'm a little bit thankful for it.
I blinked, not expecting Roswell to come out with such a thing.
I suppose in the sense that being bullied by Tyson meant I was ready for what to expect moving forward?
He grumbled, fidgeting again.
And I'm sorry that, well, we kissed, really. I think I jumped the gun on that one.
It takes two to kiss, so I was just as much at fault as Roswell. Although before I could say this, he continued.
It's jealousy, I think, seeing you look at Tyson with adoration and with such awe. With Orlando, you're calm and happy, but...
He trailed off, leaving me to tilt my head in confusion as to where he was going with this.
I just don't get it. Why Tyson? Why not me?
I smiled softly, dipping my gaze down as I thought over my reply. It's kind of like how you see me as an older brother, right? Or did see me like that anyway. When I first stood up for him, it was because I'd learned what the right thing to do was. And then I guess since then he's kind of looked out for me because I gave him a chance. Russell's eyes were darting back and forth on the floor as he tried to come to terms with what I just said.
He looked out for you?
Nodding, I continued. When I was sick, he ditched school just so I wasn't lonely. Or when I was stressing about a test, he got me the answers. Not that he told me if he stole them or not. He'd just make sure I was okay from time to time and take me places on the weekend just as stuff he thought was cool. Sure, he sort of decided stuff by taking charge, but he wasn't ever really demanding, if that makes sense. Never asked for anything either, he just always made sure I was cool with what was going on, and he took me along for the ride.
That doesn't sound like the bully I once knew. I'd almost think you were talking about someone else entirely.
He's changed, or maybe it wasn't that he's changed, but he had someone looking out for him for a change. He's basically like a big brother, I guess. Roswell nodded slowly, processing what I'd just said.
I guess today's apology day. Be it, I don't know, something long and drawn out or just a quick one. He's a hard one to read.
Oh. It was nice to hear that he was going to be apologizing for his behavior, but a worry in the back of my mind made me fearful for how Tyson would take it. Did you want me to be around for that? I'm happy to be if it'll make things easier.
No. This fight I want to handle myself. No offense, but I can't do this by myself. But if I can't do this by myself, then it's not going to mean as much, right?
I guess so, but if you want help...
I'll be fine, I think. Once I figure out how I want to phrase things, I should be good to go. Speaking of, I should let you get up and get your day started, huh?
Oh, yeah, I guess I've slept long enough, huh?
Yep, well, I'll see you later, Dave.
Roswell shuffled off, giving me a wave as he closed the door behind him on his way out. I downed the coffee he brought me before taking on the monumental effort of getting out of bed. We're gonna leave off here tonight. Cliffhanger. Just get a little cliffhanger. Leave off here. Ah. My back. Oh no, the horror, I know. Ah. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.